Hello and welcome to the Crochet Business School podcast. I'm Kelly Thomas, the Crochet Profit Queen, and I'm going to show you how you can make a living from your crochet while avoiding the burnout and being able to make what you want and when you want. Scams of the online world. It's an unfortunate fact of business, and especially with online businesses, that there are scams out there. And it can be a worrying thing. But how do you navigate this and know when you are being scammed, and how do you avoid them? So this question got asked in our Facebook community, and it's a valid concern. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty out there. Fortunately, many of them are pretty see-through, but they are the occasional ones that come up that you wonder, are they real? And what do I do about this? So some of them are really obvious. I mean, I've had one coming through in my inbox fairly regularly over the last couple of weeks, trying to tell me that they're going to go through PayPal and get a charge back because the product I sold them is defective. The only problem is they're talking about an Amazon shop, and what they're saying is defective is a computer. Clearly nothing to do with me. So that one is a big red flag. And there's a link in this email that I'm supposed to click on to see what they're talking about. Well, obviously I've not clicked on that link. Not going to. But it's a very good looking scam. If I had an Amazon shop, I might have thought twice about that one. But no. And the emails keep coming through and they get more threatening every time. And that's what scams prey on. They prey on your fear. The fear that this might possibly be real and you may possibly lose a lot of money if you don't respond. They prey on the fear of, if you don't do something about this, you're going to lose your Facebook account or your Etsy shop. Or they're going to leave a terrible review because your product is just awful. Scammers prey on fears. And when we are such small businesses, and it's just us, and we are relying on that income to prop up our finances and keep us going, it can be a really scary thing to get one of these messages. But you have to remember, when you get anything like this, is not to let your fear rule you. You have to stop, take a step back and think. Even if it is real, the world is not going to fall apart if you don't reply straight away. So as soon as you get one of these messages that makes you fearful, step back, walk away and think about it. Let that fear subside and then read it again properly. We fear losing the sale because we really want those orders coming in. We fear losing our accounts because our whole business is online. But that's what they're preying on, and we can't let that win. Yes, the idea of losing your online accounts is scary, but it is a constant thing in the background. You could always lose your Etsy shop for a minor violation that you were not aware of. You could always lose your Facebook account because hackers get in and take access away. Which is why you need an email list. Your email list is your backup. So even if you lose your accounts, you can still contact your followers. If you don't have an email list, get one. Start building one, because this is your insurance and your backup. Right, going off track. Let's get back to it. The scammers. They prey on your fear. Pure and simple. That is the beginning and end of. You have to separate the fact from the fiction. If someone is saying, I'll report you and get you shut down if you don't do as I say, that's a scam. Because one complaint from one customer is not going to get your account shut down. That's not going to happen. So you can back away from that one straight away. Another popular scam doing the rounds is if you use PayPal, and so if your business is on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you are using Messenger to get your orders, and then you get your customers pay through PayPal. One of the scams that's been doing the rounds in the last few months has been they will send you a link to a PayPal address, and they will say, PayPal has said you need to click on this link to verify that you are a trusted seller. Do not click the link, because what it actually is a reset code to give the scammer access to your PayPal account. PayPal will never send a link to your customer to send to you. That will never happen. And it's a way for them to get into your PayPal account. So absolutely back away from that one. Never would PayPal do that. It's simply not good practice. It's a terrible way of doing business. Others will, especially on Etsy, because Etsy say, as part of their guidelines, it's not even their guidelines, it's their rules. If you take an order on Etsy and it goes through a private conversation, that conversation has to happen on the Etsy app. So you cannot do business away from the Etsy app if you want Etsy's protection if something goes wrong. Only the Etsy convo counts, and that's what Etsy will use. They don't care if you took it to an email. They don't care if you took it to Facebook Messenger. Those messages won't count, only what was done on Etsy. So do not move your conversation away from Etsy. And the other thing they don't let you do is change the delivery address after the order has been made. You have to send to the address that was given to you in Etsy. So what the scammers will do is they will put the order through in Etsy. You get it ready to send to that address in Etsy, and then they will send you a message. Probably not on Etsy. They will send it through either through email or another platform that you're on and say, really sorry, I've got the wrong address in Etsy. Can you send it to this one instead? And that's the scam, because then they will file a chargeback and say you didn't send it to the right address because it's not the one in Etsy. But because the conversation has left Etsy, you have nothing to stand on. So you can't do that. It doesn't matter if they change the address. You have to send to the one that was given on their account in Etsy. And that protects you. So do not fall for that one either. You have to work within the guidelines. If you want that platform's protection that you are using, you have to keep everything on that platform and stick by their rules. If you don't do that, you don't get their protection later when it all goes wrong. And that's what the scammers are counting on. They know the rules, and they are using your fear of losing the sale to try and manipulate you into breaking those rules. If this is sounding scary and like there's a million different things out there, it sounds like it is. If you go into Facebook groups, you'll get lots of people talking about these things. But what you have to remember is you are seeing a concentrated version of things, because people will go into these Facebook groups to sound off and to get advice. And so it sounds like there's a lot more of these things going on than there actually are. Most crochet sellers will see one or two scams over several years. A lot of them are obvious, but you won't actually see that many. It's rare. You probably will see one or two, but you're not going to get them all the time. It's going to be occasionally. And these scammers are just trying their luck. They're going to go through different people and try their luck. But there are literally thousands of online small businesses like ours. And so they can't repeatedly target the same people. So you may get these messages once or twice, but you're not going to get them all the time. It's just awareness. Because if you're aware of these, you can protect yourself. And as scary as it sounds, and as off-putting it may sound to having an online business, it's just a fact of life. I mean, anybody can get scammed. You don't have to have a business to get scammed. I mean, people can, you hear them all the time about people getting scammed out their life savings through, these online dating sites because they've been asked to send thousands of pounds, and because they've fallen so completely into the trap they do. These things exist. And the more that you're aware of them, the more you can avoid them. Another common one is postage. If you don't send something out through tracked postage, well, if it gets lost in the post, you've got nothing to claim. And if there's no proof of signature at the end, they can say it was just never delivered. Which is why you should always use signed for postage. Yes, it's more expensive, but if that's the only option you offer, well, that's what you offer. And it's protecting you. So don't worry if the customer turns around and says, yeah, I can't afford that. Well, yes, they can. It's just a couple of pounds difference. And if you are pricing your crochet right, compared to what you are offering for sale, that's nothing. So stick to your guns and only offer signed for tracked postage. That protects you. And no one can say that it was never delivered because you'll have the proof. It's knowing how to protect yourself. It's knowing how to spot these things when they come through into your messenger, into your email box. Know how to protect yourself. Know the rules of the platform when you're selling on sites like Etsy and on Amazon and on Shopify. Keep those messages in one place. Do not change delivery addresses after the sale has been made. Do not click on random links that are sent to you. If they are invoking the fear factor, stop, walk away, take a breath, and then think about it. All of these things prey on our fear, and they want to elicit an immediate response before the logical parts of our brains have a chance to kick in gear. And it's knowing how to stop and walk away and think about it that is going to protect you. Because once you have had time to think about it, these things, it's like, why did I ever think that was real? Once we calm down and actually truly think about it, we can see it for what it is. But it's making sure that you don't make that immediate response and click out of fear. It's making sure that you don't allow yourself to be manipulated off the platforms into a separate conversation to change those addresses, because it's the fear of losing the sale. Make sure you know your rights, know the rules of the platform, spot when you're being manipulated, because if people are messing you through several different platforms, that's a big red flag. Something's going on there. Don't let that happen. But you have the power to protect yourself. You have the power to not fall for these. And being aware of what is going around, the scams that are, because they tend to kind of follow a trend. You'll see one scam doing the rounds, and then another scam will start to come in and work instead, because people become aware of them. And the more you're aware of them, the more the scammers have to change their tactics and try something new. And that's why it feels like there are so many. But it's because the old ones have fallen out of trend and are not being used anymore. But going into Facebook groups and seeing what people are asking about, seeing what they've said, that they've fallen foul of, that will help keep you aware and look out for what may come. You will probably only ever have one of these come through. But being prepared for it is a major part of the battle, because if you know what you are looking for, you know what to walk away from. So if you have any questions about this, please do come over to the Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. And don't forget, fear is your worst enemy. Don't act on it. Walk away, think about it, and you'll be okay. So please do come and talk to us if you have any questions or any fears. Let's put those at ease. But thank you for listening, and I shall see you next time for the next episode. Bye for now.